Virginia. There's no doubt about that. We're definitely gearing up. I think we're about 5-6 weeks away from the event here, the leadership retreat, and it's crazy, crazy, crazy busy. You know, I do want to say just a couple of words about that before we move forward. If you ever want to be inspired, I tell you, you would want to be part of this in any capacity whatsoever. But, you know, one of the things that I face in life, it's not surprising based on where I come from, but, you know, there's a lot of, I get a lot of feedback. Oh, it's all about Lynn. You know, she just wants everybody at her farm. And I have to just give you just a short background so you know the heart of this. You know, we got into our third Super Saturday a few years back, and you know, we were doing about every 6 months, and I was facilitating that. I was out there, you know, on the line for the funding of it. And we got to the third one, and for whatever reason, we went from 100 and some people 6 months before to 17 people the week of that event. I mean, that was pretty scary when I'm writing the check, right? And at the same time, you know, the farm, the messages that I write, the spiritual message, the farm had kind of taken off in our world. And really, that's all about lifestyle. You know, people would see the farm and admire my faith. And so just to cut my losses, I said, okay, fine with me. Everybody, we're taking it to the farm. I'm not going to swallow these, you know, several $1,000s. I'm going to take it to the farm. And that's really what inspired us to do this event here. It is not about me, rest assured. It's about me serving you, and always me serving my God. You know, Saturday at this event, it's going to be boots on the ground. I mean, I'm talking nuts and bolts skill set training with topics like how to find the emotional trigger point. You know, we talked about how we aren't dealing with people of logic. No matter what you're sharing with them, from your faith to your business, we're not dealing with people of logic. So we have to understand they're people of emotion, and that's going to be teaching us how to find that emotional trigger point. Another one is bulldozing your way through the buyer barriers. You know, there are barriers that we face every day, and if you're not familiar with them, you don't know how to break through them. And so that's going to be very helpful for some of you challenged with that. And then we're going to, one of the other topics is game-changing intros. I think it's kind of funny, and I think it's because we have a threefold mission that when people are asked, you know, what do you do? We stumble around. We don't even know what to say, what we do. And so that's going to be a session on game-changing intros, from your elevator speech to just responding when somebody says, what do you do? Those are just a few things you're going to learn. It's a remarkable thing to be a part of, to see this come together. People coming from like Earl and Regis Stevens coming out of Louisiana for the second time to help get this whole barn project together. If you aren't part of it in prayer, first of all, support, resources, attendance, or anything else, you have no idea what you're missing. You know, my youngest son is anxiously awaiting the birth of his firstborn son, just a couple weeks away. He's due on September 4th. And we were visiting the other day, just a mama and her son. It was a precious time. We had the best time reminiscing about the old days and dreaming about this little guy and him playing baseball like his daddy did and his uncle did. You know, really kind of fun and sweet to walk through. And as we walked down memory lane, we laughed about some of the moves, you know, plays out there, when we actually re-celebrated some of the victories they saw, and we recalled a coach or two. And it was that sweet conversation with my son walking down memory lane in Little League that inspired this message for you today, entitled Coach or Cheerleader. You know, I don't believe I ever missed an opportunity to thank the coaches over the years, all those dedicated dads stepping up to help with the season. It took time and commitment, you know, major commitments. And, you know, I'm sure that it wasn't always easy dealing with the kids, dealing with the parents, dealing with the weather, whatever. But a few of those coaches still stand out from all the others because of their coaching style. And it was more... There was more learned from those few than all the others combined over every other season they ever played. Some of those volunteer coaches were great cheerleaders. I mean, they were very supportive in that way. You know, kid hit the ball and they were out of the dugouts, you know, shouting out and encouraging them on. But when a play went south, nobody ever learned from it because there just wasn't anything said. There's no denying the importance of coaching from baseball to business, but it's the coaching part in this business that somehow we overlook. You know, we have great cheerleaders. When we see success, we're cheering people on. When we experience success, people are cheering us on. And most of the time, we walk away from the ones that aren't succeeding at all. It'd be like the coach walking away from a kid that didn't hit the ball, you know, and we just say, well, they don't get it, and we just keep moving on. You know, when we're young, playing baseball, for instance, there should be a coach there to guide us toward victory, and one that isn't afraid to let us know about those things we need to improve upon, upon and how we're doing it wrong per se. But they have to watch us play the game to know what needs improvement. We can't just tell them, well, I've swung a million times, I never hit the ball. We have to show them the way we're swinging, and then they're obliged to speak the truth and coach us along, right? If we both desire that success, that is, So, if there was ever a kid on a little league team that hit the mound and swung the bat like a golf club, the coach needs to step up and guide him into success. If that little guy is left to himself to continue to do the things wrong, he'll never hit that ball. And his baseball days will be so numbered. Somebody has to coach us towards success. The coach doesn't just tell them how to hold and swing the bat. The coach shows them and critiques them into how to hold and swing that bat instead, so that they'll actually hit the ball. It boggles the mind, really. We live in a world, it's just amazing. There's coaching out there for everything in life, and people pay fortunes to have the coaching. There are fitness coaches and finance coaches and nutrition coaches, or even life coaches. And I'm not being critical of the ones paying big bucks to have someone help them figure out life, but my life coach doesn't cost me a dime, and my coach already paid the price for me. Coaches for everything on the planet. But when it comes to the world of entrepreneurs, the coaching somehow changes colors. I hear it often, and I'm sure you do too. People calling me saying, I've given away water to 100 people and nobody wants to buy, or, I've been doing this and I've been doing that over and over and over, and nobody, it's too expensive, nobody wants them, whatever. But if you've really had the audience with that many people, at least the numbers they share with me, and nothing ever became of it, believe me, it's not price or anything else. It's likely you're still stepping up to the plate and swinging the bat like a golf club with little hope of ever hitting that ball. But who would know? The cheerleaders will be out there, for you while you try, and there'll be a cheerleader there for when you hit that ball. But for everything else in between, you're on your own most of the time. No coach watching you swing the bat and one to guide you when you're doing something wrong that could change the outcome of your future. Most of the people reaching lots of people with no success never consider the importance of coaching. For whatever reason, they don't have anybody out there willing to coach them. I have to say that this is the only business I've ever seen. I've only been in 3 different worlds, if you will, but I've done coaching for people in other worlds. I've never seen anything like it, really, where we get people, we recruit people on, pat them on the fanny and say, run, but they never get coached towards success. Never really seen that before. When you're on the other side of success, it's really easy to look back to others and just say, hey, run, and to blame their lack of success on their lack of effort. But there are plenty of people out there who get on board with our mission. They start sharing with everything and every breath they can take, and they never make a sale. And you know what? They're like that kid swinging a bat like a golf club. They're going to leave because of it. And you can't blame them if they're not making the money, right? Even though so many talented people out there are so many people, ones that came into our business pretty much like I did without any experience in this industry or any experience in sales in general. Many of them got discouraged. Many of them have already gone. And since nobody coached them into what they should be doing to change their results, they blame the price or, the industry or whatever. They started, blaming and saying nobody wants to buy these things, but that's not true. The coach doesn't just sit on the bench and read a book without ever interjecting what needs to change to reach success. And a coach doesn't just say, come to my game and watch me play. That's the way you learn. And there's a lot to be learned from observation, no doubt. There's no underestimating the importance of watching others play the game, because you learn from the pros. But watching the game and playing the game are 2 entirely different things. And you won't find your success just by watching others play. The good news about our business is that there are really countless ways to do our business. It's not a cookie cutter thing, but not all people are equipped to do all the same things. And what happens is people get discouraged. Some people are terrified of the idea of doing a live demo themselves. So they need to develop that skill, or they need to go right back to plug and play the old-fashioned way, the way that still works, right? You don't ever have to get up and do a demo. Some people are savvy enough to work this business through online platforms. And if they spend enough money advertising, like Facebook ads, that kind of thing, and they work really hard to establish their strategy, they'll eventually see lots of sales because of it, although they won't be building teams. We aren't one size fits all for all people, or one size fits all for all skill set or talent. We're each unique with our own unique talents and gifts. So coaching to oversee what you're doing and how you're doing it so that you can learn to hold that bat and hit the ball is really non-negotiable if you want to see success for yourself. Sitting in the dugout watching everybody else play has some great benefits, and it's part of our learning cycle, but it's not the same as stepping up for yourself, and it doesn't replace being coached through that process. It's not the same as stepping up to the mound, whatever that looks like in your world, and swinging the bat for yourself. And it's not the same as allowing a coach to just observe you, right? But to speak the truth about what you stand, what you stand to improve upon. You need that, not just somebody out there cheering you, but somebody to help you along. It can be intimidating for the little league player if he steps up to miss that ball over and over again, and it's intimidating for you and me too. But it's when we're coached into improvement, and if we're willing to change, that's what leads to us seeing success. When we're younger, maybe that's easier to take. When we're older, we kind of swallow our pride and go for it, right? Once you know how to swing the bat so that you're more than likely going to hit the ball, then you keep doing it over and over and over again, and you get better and better every time you swing. But if you're still holding the bat like a golf club and swinging in the breeze, you won't be hitting that ball much at all. You play a big role besides just swinging the bat. You must be willing to accept coaching and to respect critique that comes to you from the pros. I saw it countless times in baseball. You'd see a strong-minded boy, get a little ego going on, or a lot of ego going on, and he'd step up to the plate with arrogance. He thought he already knew everything, and he didn't even need the coach. When he was critiqued, he ignored it, and he continued to do the same wrong thing over and over and over again without success. And he usually, only attempted to play a season or two. He'd get discouraged, or he didn't get desired, right? Einstein said the definition of insanity is to continue to do the same things over and over again while expecting a different result. So are you doing that? It might not be a deal breaker if a little league player never makes it, past little league. And, if he wasn't hell bent on doing things his own way, even though he never saw success, he just kept doing it his way. But it is a deal breaker for you in business. Having a cheerleader in the picture is great. We all need that encouragement. We all need that cheerleader. We need it at home, and we need it at work, right? Having a coach in the picture, more importantly, being willing to be coached, is the key to improving upon those things that you're doing over and over and over again and not seeing success. It's not possible to expose what we have to the masses. Some people say in 100 people, it's not possible that nobody got on board. It's not the technology. It's not their results. It all comes down to us. We all know, at least everybody on this call knows the importance of plugging into the team, and we know the importance of gathering together, things like events, for example, to build our belief system, but we have to be more than just cheerleaders, and we have to hear more than just cheerleading. We have to play that game. I can't resist the opportunity, to say something at this point. There are all kinds of events that we have access to, and we need them all to layer our success, frankly. If you don't understand the importance of events, you need to go back to square one and get that into your arsenal, first of all. It's one thing to attend an event and to watch those stars hitting the stage with testimonials of success that inspire us. It's crazy, right? We watch them and we say, wow, if they can do it, I can do it. Who doesn't like to have the opportunity to watch a World Series play out and then being able to talk to the players that won it? We all do, right? After all, it's that World Series champion kind of thing that inspires a little league player to want to win a game. And we all need that to inspire us toward victory. Again, if they can do it, we can do it, right? But it's an entirely different thing to attend an event when the intent is that building yourself, working on you, being real, being humbled, right? So that you can work towards success, because so that you have the potential to hit that stage one day yourself. It's one thing to talk about it and to view it. It's another thing to do it. That's the intent of the upcoming leadership event. It's not the time to focus on just who's going to be on stage, although you're going to hear from some of the best from Tamia to Romy. It's time to work on you and your skill set, those things that might be missing. Maybe you're swinging the bat the wrong way, things that will help you swing it and hit the ball. The World Series and all the talented players are the things that inspire every little league player to that game, but it's the coach, the one that watches them play, boots on the ground, if you will. They watch them play and coaches them into swinging the bat the right way, and it's all those other things that make up a good player. So the $64 question is, are you a coach or are you a cheerleader? And do you have a coach in your business, or just cheerleaders ready to shout out when you actually hit that ball? Both of them are vitally important for your success. It's that coach and your willingness to be coached that will take you from the mound of a little league field to the World Series in your business. So many talented people with lots and lots and lots of potential are in need of that coaching, whether they realize it or not. It's not enough to say, hallelujah, you're on board, pat them on the fanny and tell them to run. It's not enough. They need coaching. They've never been there before. Sometimes all people need is just to change a few words of what they say. Sometimes all they really need is to lose a few million words that they say, right? Some will be coached into doing their own demo, but that's such a small part of what the player actually needs to hit that ball. It's more about words and strategy and learning how to find the problem so that you can offer a solution. That's all sales ever is, guys, is, identifying a problem and coming up with a solution. But so many people never get there. They're too busy trying to demonstrate what they have and never getting into the trenches, right? Those are things that you learn just by watching other players play. Those are things you learn when you hit the mound and swing the bat and you miss the ball, and then you get coached into how you can change you and your skill set so that you have the potential to win that World Series too. So are you coachable? Or do you see the importance of being coached? Are you willing to walk up to the mound and swing that bat so that your coach can guide you toward excellence? Can you take the critique, or will you keep holding on to your ego sitting in the dugout? You can't succeed that way. Are you exhausted from giving away millions of gallons of water and not making sales? Some of you out there, that's exactly where you are. And if not for another means of income, you'd already be gone, right? But don't ever quit. Believe me, when you look at all the leaders and you hear their stories of success and you get inspired like I do, they were coached at some point in that journey. They weren't born knowing how to do what we do. And there's only so much self-improvement type thing that we can do. Sometimes it's got to be in the trenches. It's got to be on the mound, right? And practicing something the wrong way will only lead to, you being discouraged. It won't lead to income, that's for sure. Those people that we look to were coached. I was coached, and you need to be coached if you aren't already being coached. More importantly, you need to look at the importance of coaching, and you need to be ready to roll up your sleeve and get out there on the mound and show people what they're doing wrong and why they aren't hitting the ball. You've got the why, that, you've got it in your heart, where you're trying to go, and you've got the potential. All it takes is being willing to learn and to grow and to improve and to never give up, and you can win this game. But it all begins at the little league level, where you learn the right way to swing that bat that leads to successfully hitting the ball, and then you play the game over and over and over again, and you perfect your skill. And if you play and improve along the way, and you refuse to stop, and you continue to sharpen your skills, then you're going to win your own World Series. Anything is possible for you guys. So I hope that this message on coaching will resonate within you. Think about it. How many people do you have out there, maybe on your team, that tried and quit? They didn't see a sale. They didn't see success. They made every excuse. And that's a whole different topic for another day, right? It always comes down to us. But how many people out there just need a little practical support, a little bit of coaching, where you come along somebody and say, you've seen me do it, now let me watch you do it, and you sharpen those skills. Guys, that's important when you raise a family. It's important when you share your faith. It's important in a business. We cannot overlook the importance in our business. So go out there, guys, ponder the coaching process, and never quit being a cheerleader, but consider being a coach and be coachable. You guys go make it a blessed day. I'll see you at the top, and I'll see you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.